Nicko on the mic, Milanista report. We break it down right for the culture, for the tactics, for the game. AC Milan forever repping the name. It's Nicko in the booth, bringing truth to the scene. Milanista report, freshest vibe you ever seen. When it comes to defense, ain't nobody sharper. Breaking down rules like I'm Paolo's partner. Maldini on the line, that's where it all starts. Tactical knowledge, hitting hard like street smarts. Every episode, man, is deeper than the stats. I'm dropping game plans like I'm playing with the cats. Mercenary pride, this ain't no side hustle. Analyzing plays with that mob deep muscle. From the back line to the final third press, it's all love from Milan, ain't no second guess. The Milanista report, the realest in the game. Nicko with the knowledge, always stay inflamed for the love of Milan. Paolo's name and lights, we the source for tactics, always taking flight. Milanista report, ain't no doubt it's the best. We breaking down the system, every move we assess. From the defensive grind to the team's attack, Nicko got your back with that mercenary tack. Yo, it's deeper than just watching the goals and the hype. We study every battle, the defensive type. From Maldini to Baresi, I break down the flow. Nicko in the cut, giving y'all the real show. This podcast ain't a game, it's a masterclass. Peep the backline setups, every tackle, every pass. Other pods just talk, but they miss the details. We focus on the struggle where the legends prevail. Talking Paolo Maldini, the heart of the club. Ain't no faking the passion, this love ain't a dub. I'm the voice of the fans, for the love of the crest. They see Milan forever, we only rock with the best. With Milanista report, the realest in the game. Nicko with the knowledge, always stay inflamed for the love of Milan. Paolo's name and lights, we the source for tactics, always taking flight. Milanista report, ain't no doubt it's the best. We breaking down the system, every move we assess. From the defensive grind to the team's attack, Nicko got your back with that mercenary tack. Other pods, nah, they just scratching the surface. Nicko go deep, showing y'all the purpose. AC Milan ain't just about winning the race, it's about structure, unity, and defensive grace. So tune in, get schooled by the best in the game. Milanista report, steady rising in fame. Nicko repping hard for the red and the black. Paolo's spirit lives on and we never look back. Milanista report, the voice of the streets. Defensive tactics like you never heard before. If the Nicko's got the knowledge, you know we stay raw. Milanista report, the voice of the streets. Defensive tactics like you never heard before. Nicko's got the knowledge, you know we stay raw. Milanista report, the voice of the streets. Defensive tactics like you never heard before. Nicko's got the knowledge, you know we stay raw. Milanista report, the voice of the streets. Defensive tactics like you never heard before. Nicko's got the knowledge, you know we stay raw. Milanista report, the voice of the streets.
What's going on, Milanisti? Good morning. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué onda, güey? Buongiorno. All that. Welcome to the Milanista Report. I'm your host, Nicko. This is the pregame show, Fiorentina, Milan. What's going on, Milanisti? Hold on for a second, guys. All right, that's better. All right. Everybody in the chat, Milan Nation, let's get to it. All right. Obviously, we got a big game coming up against Fiorentina with Palladino, who coached at Monza previously, right? And he's shown that he could beat Milan, well, under Pioli anyway. Pioli was coaching the squad. And obviously, we just came off, a tough 1-0 loss against Bayer Leverkusen, right, in the Champions League. Some Milan fans felt that we played well. and it could have been a 1-1 score. Some fans were disappointed, like myself. I wasn't happy with that outcome at all. We didn't play awful, but we weren't on the front foot. Bayern Leverkusen took it to us. Our right back looked awful. Emerson Royale made a couple of mental errors in the back. One that could have cost us a goal, but was pulled back for all sides. But Tamari was just not there on that play. And listen, at the end of the day, our big guns, Leao didn't show up. Pulisic didn't do much. He did all right. And Theo was okay. Defensively played well, but and he just got unlucky with that banger of a shot, right? He hit the top of the post, and it didn't rattle in. That's the way it goes sometimes. So obviously we're 0-2 in Champions League, and now we focus our attention back to Serie A. All right. So everybody in the chat, everybody tuning in, Milan Nation, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, like button, get those likes up, and let's get with the show. All right, so let me share my screen here and get up at the matchup of this is what I wanted to do. Where is it? There we go. Let me get rid of these ads. So Fiorentina, Milan. All right, this is the predicted lineup. Obviously, it's a bit early, being it's only Saturday morning my time. I'm going to get a couple different reports, obviously from different sources. So this is what it looks like right now. Let's start off with our opponents, Fiorentina. Looks like we can go with David De Gea in goal, Lucas Martinez Quarta, Pedro Camuso, who's a decent center back, Luca Ranieri, Jonathan Ikone, who's troubled us in the past, Eduardo Bove, Danilo Catilidi, Fabian Parisi, who's a good wing back. We've been interested in the past. A lot of Milan fans have wanted him. Up top, Gunsman, Kobani, and Moises Keane is having a really good season. All right. And for Milan, looks like Mike's in the pipes again, between the pipes. Royale right back. Listen, at this point, he doesn't have no competition. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, I think it's a bad thing, being he's not being pushed in training. The old Milan teams of old, when we were at the peak, when we were the kings of Europe, we were a fear team, which we're not anymore, which is sad, right? We had ambition, we had ballers. Those teams, regardless who was playing, we always, the next season, always picked up another player to push him, right? At one point we had a stack, back four. We decided to get Stam to push the other players. So in this case, Royal has nobody to push him. Calabria is out injured again. I don't know. He's not physically fit. I'm sure what's going on in Calabria. The fact that we're not pulling anybody up from the Futura team in training to push Royale is an issue. He's not going to improve at all. And then we got Gabbia, who's stable, serviceable center back. Actually got his first call up with Azzurri. Awesome job, Gabbia. Looks like Pavlovic is going to play next to him. I said it in the last game when we lost against Leverkusen. I've said it again and again and again in previous podcasts. Pavlovic, Tomori are very similar center backs. They make reckless challenges. They lose focus. They're out of position. The only difference is Pavlich is much more physical. He doesn't mind putting his body on the line. This time we're seeing Tomari when an opponent is lining up for a shot. Instead of contesting it, putting a body on the line, putting his, throwing his back, putting his back to it, something he doesn't do, Pavlich will do, right? He'll body somebody in the 18-yard box. He's not afraid of being physical with the attacking players, the strikers, the opposing team. So I'll actually like this. So hopefully this actually happens. And then Theo, that's left back, obviously. It looks like we're going back to a double pivot. Who knows? We might go back to this or go back to the formation that's been working for us in the last few games, right? But it looks like, according to SofaScore, we're going to go with that 4-2-3-1, but that could change. Double pivot, Reindeers, which is fine. He's there. He's okay. Defensively, he's still not doing his part. So let's keep an eye on that with Fiorentina, see if they can expose that side of the field. With Theo, Pavlich, who's inexperienced, and Tijani, who's not a defensively strong midfielder. Fofana, who's been playing really good the last couple of games, both offensively and more importantly defensively. That's his main job. I don't care if you score goals, Fofana. Just push the ball up, find those through balls, progress the ball through the lines, and defend. And that's what he's been doing. He's been doing a decent job recovering balls, not as much as I like, but he's getting back. He's helping out Royale when he's pinned on that right side with that wing back. He's helping on third man runs in the box. So, Fana, let's keep doing what you're doing. Up top, Liao, Morata playing behind Tammy. That's not a bad lineup, actually. And Pulisic. And then obviously Abraham up top. So it looks like we're going with our two strikers, which could form a 4-4-2 over the time. This could be, like I said, we all know those formations are dynamic. They're not static. All right. I actually like Morata there with Tammy, even though it's not sustainable. But from game to game, as long as you stay healthy, they are a good combination because they both initiate the press really good. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so that's the lineup. Now, let's look at, matter of fact, look at Data Bomb, our stat fanatics out there. All right. Fiorentina's blue. So the one looks like overall we're a stronger team, right? An attack. Counters is pretty close. They're a little bit better defending, and they're better on pressing, initiating the press. Obviously, goals, we're a much stronger team, attacking to possession, almost all the categories. So on paper, we should beat them. All right. Because they're not even close, but the biggest difference is the pressing. So this might be something we need to consider during the game. Will Fiorentina's press be the difference maker in this game? I've seen in the past, even though they're not on the same level as Liverpool or Bayern Leverkusen, those teams pressed. First, Liverpool were pressing hard against us. All right. And we saw how our team faltered. We're not good at breaking presses. We're still struggling in a lot of cases. But overall, we should actually beat them. With this lineup that we got here, Milan Nation, we need these 3 points. Because right now, let's take a quick look at the table here. Let's see. Serie A standings, where we stand. So obviously Napoli's up. They haven't played yet. They're at 13 points. Juve, I think not. Yeah, but Napoli actually won yesterday, right? Didn't they? Juve is in second. We're in third, tied with Inter. And I think this weekend Inter and Torino are playing, which is a good matchup. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, I'd like to see them both tied. A tie would be really good for us. All right. And then we got Fiorentina's in 11th. But if they win, they're back with 10 points if they beat us. And Como's looking pretty good. Como played the other night. They actually didn't play bad against Napoli the first few minutes, but then Napoli just came out. And Napoli looking strong right now, right? When we look at the goal differential, they scored 11, goal against 4, goal differential 7. In most cases, you start picking up those racking up kind of points, you usually there's a strong case for you winning the title Scudetto. Juve hasn't given up any goals yet. And Champions League, they're looking strong as well. Obviously, we've given 7 goals. But we scored 14. So we've always been strong scoring goals, and it's never been an issue for our team. Even last season under VIOLA, the season before that. Our issue, time and time again, is allowing teams to score on us, not keeping clean sheets. So hopefully we get a clean sheet against Fiorentina. Give me your thoughts in the chat about this game. What do you guys think? I think we're gonna win, tie, lose. Give me your score line. Give me your scores. Tell me who you think is gonna, be our goal scorers for the match coming up tomorrow. And let's get our predictions in. All right, Milan Nation. Let's see. Let's get a pulse. See how we're all feeling about tomorrow's game. Are we going to continue with our losing ways? Are we going to get back on the winning track? How are we feeling? Let's check the chat. All right, chat's quiet. Hey, boys, I don't know if everybody's calling in from Milan Nation, but I've been up since 6:30 my time. 7:30 right now. Down here in the Yucatan, Mexico, Riviera Maya. So let's get this conversation going, all right? Next up, tail of the tape, Milan's defense versus the VIOLA's. So let's start sharing the screen really quick. All right, boom. So tail of the tape. This has been a pretty new portion of the show. Started this with the Bayern Leverkusen game. So let's start off with Palladino, coached with Monza previously, promising young coach, right? I know a lot of Milan fans are actually, when he was doing really good things with Monza, they talked about some fans wanted to maybe possibly bring him to Milan. All right. So obviously with Fiorentina, he's playing a 3-4-2-1, right? That's a possible one of the lineups. All right, so he's really packing in the middle of the field. Which that's a similar style that he played at Monza as well. Some cases he's played at 3-4-3. So he does change things up on the ball. Now, let's look at his defense. All right, so defensively as well, he's still sticking with that 3-4-2-1 on defense. This could change throughout the game, so we'll see. I mean, overall, Paris is not a bad defender as well. They do press well. In terms of their pressing scheme, give me a second. I had it up here. And then we'll get into our Milan's defensive schemes, the tactics, the last couple of games, the changes they made. There we go. Let's look at this. Is a good article. So that we've seen that they actually play a pretty fluid game offensively, like we said. But more importantly, let's get into their defense. So defensive total football analysis really puts them out some good stuff. Really good defensive scheme. Here we go. Booyah. So they really do a good job of regaining the ball high up the pitch. They're really, his teams in the past and with Fiorentina as well, they do a really good job recovering the ball high up the field, which means they are counter pressing, right? So when he was in charge in Monza, they had 81 high regains, 124 counter pressing recoveries. Out of these, 23 had led to a shot in 20 seconds or less. So, which is an important stat, meaning once they get the ball back, on those high regains or those counter pressing, they do lead to shots, and 23 of those times led to 20 shots 20 seconds or less. So something we need to worry about, or at least focus on as a team, because if we lose the ball, we need to gain our shape back immediately. Get into that compact back four, make sure our two midfielders are not out of position. They get back into the division and they're doing their jobs, right? Just the double pivots, so playing a double pivot. If they're helping out the fullbacks when they're pinned in with those wingers, and then once those wingers get past them, are they recovering into the middle of the pitch? All right. And then keeping an eye on those third man runs. So let me show you a couple stats if you guys like stats too. Let's go share the screen again. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. This is their stats here. Ball recovery is in gray. I talked about dangerous recovery leading to shots within 20 seconds. That's in green. And then counter pressing within 5 seconds after position loss. That's what you want to. That's when you initiate your counter pressing. Can you get the ball within 5 to 6 seconds? And you're seeing they're very active. His team's in Monza anyways, and I would assume that's the same thing at Fiorentina. You see here defensive actions, very active, interceptions all over the pitch, fouls, So another cool fact about his teams as well, Palladino's, usually begins in either a mid block to a high block. He don't have a set shape. They're very fluid defensive positioning, being very man-oriented. So this is important as well. Man market. I'm guessing he's doing this at Fiorentina as well, right? If they're man marking, means every man on the pitch, all 10 players need to do their job. Now we're doing more about hybrid press. We're hybrid marking right now when we get off the ball, right? Especially when we're doing our high press or our falling back into that mid block. But when we're high pressing, we go into the hybrid press. We used to do man marking at the beginning of the season. We're not doing that anymore. So can our players, can Leao, Morata, Abraham, more importantly, Tijani, our midfielders, find that open space, time and space between the lines? Can they beat their man coverage and find an opening to be able to receive the ball and push up and go through the lines? So that's Monza's. That's the way they work. Hold on. Now with us, we play, right now we're playing a 4-2-4 hybrid press when we're pressing. The teams are trying to build up from the back. Then we play a 4-2-4 hybrid press, which has been all right. It's allowing, gives less responsibilities to somebody like Leao, who does a man mark all the time. Will that continue, or will Fonseca go back to a man-to-man pressing, which could be dangerous, right? Because that we saw in the beginning of the seasons, teams took advantage of that man press, since we didn't have Abraham either initiating the press and being really good pressuring the keeper and causing havoc up top. Even when we were man-to-man pressing, he was on the pitch. He had to do more work because Leao wasn't pressing, wasn't man marking. And we saw teams take advantage of that. So that's something to look for. In position, our rest defense. Right, the last couple of games, we've seen Fofana drop back between the two center backs behind the ball, and he's managed that pivotal space pretty well. That pivotal space is a space between the midfielders and the center back, right? Because if you don't manage, if you do too disconnected, teams will counter you. And last couple of games, Fofana's done a good job with that, managing that space. Or will Fonseca push Fofana up a little further? All right. Again, we don't know. That's another thing to look forward to as well, is our rest defense. All right. So if we just have two center backs in the back and our two full backs are pushing up a little bit higher and they're not recovering time, players like Igone, those kind of Parisi, they're going to try to catch us on a press and beat us. And that's probably their best bet, right? And then how we're going to drop back once the teams beat our hybrid press or man-to-man. Are we still going to drop back in that 4-2-4 mid-block, which we've seen the last few games as well, which has worked sometimes it hasn't. Listen, at the end of the day, for that to be a really highly effective mid-block, you need two really good highly defensive IQ midfielders. Fofana's getting there game by game and get more experience. But Tijani ain't doing it for me at all, whatsoever. I wish he did, but he doesn't. Offensively, he's a stud. He's even though he didn't score that goal, he should have scored that goal the other day. Something we all like to see him do. We haven't found that other midfielder that can play defend. like Napoli's midfielders. For me, that's the best midfield, in my opinion, my favorite. They have two really good midfielders, Napoli, right? Excuse me. Yeah, when you have in Giza and Lobaka playing in that double pivot, those two players are workhorses. They're strong. They're physical. They're good at progressing the ball. They help out they both help out their fullbacks when they're pinned in on that open space behind them. Those for me your prototypical midfielders for a double pivot, or even for a 4-3-3, right? But that's not the case with Milan. We don't have that. We have Fan, who's sort of like Lobaka and Ngiza. He's not up to their level yet. And we have Tajani, who's nowhere near them defensively, those two players. Whatsoever. Hey, Milan Nation, fellas, everybody in the chat. Boys are quiet today. Real quick, let me show you guys something here. I think I like this setup. Let's see if this camera works. Check that out. So this right here, this scarf is in 2017-18 Group D Champions League. My dad's an Olympiacos fan. I grew up an Olympiacos fan too. Yeah, I grew up an Olympiacos fan. So my dad gave me this Group D 2017-18 Champions League scarf. And they were the same group as Juve. And obviously, got some Milan stuff here. So this officially the studio is done for the time being. Some minor stuff's minor tweaks, but overall it's pretty much finished. Studio finally got it done. But that being said, let's get back to more important. So let's get back to the game. All right. If you haven't seen, so I got Maldini there as well. All right. Obviously. So we went over Fiorentina's defense, how Palladino set up his team in the past, with the man marking in the mid block, and how they're really good at counter pressing and regaining the ball versus our squad's defense. And the changes that Fonseca's made, and more importantly, his assistant coach, Ferrara, who's in charge of that stuff, right? The defensive part of the game. Moving on. Into the Fangulo. All right. That's not the one. There we go. Key matchups. Another part of the show. So key matchups. So the first one would be Leao on the left side, being marked by either Quarta and Parisi, or will he put Coyote in that right back? So I don't know why Coyote's not getting a lot of minutes this season. But Coyote is one of the most promising right backs in Italy. He's up there with even his counterpart, Doji, right? And I know there's been some rumors that early on that Coyote was looking to make a move to Doji in the Premier League over there. But he looks like he's still in Fiorentina. Let me just double check. Oh, we got Adley too. That's right. I forgot. Shit. So Adley's on this team as well. As a matter of fact, that's right. Adley had a good game last game. He was the player of the match for like a game or two for Fiorentina. He's playing really well. Where's their matches? Where is their bench? Damn you, Sofa score. But yeah, Adley is playing as well. Adley's had a good. Let's see Adley what he's been doing up to real quick. He played in that Conference League game. He played pretty well. He was a player of the game for them. So he's doing well, which is great for them. Good for him. But I'm pretty sure Coyote's on the squad, fellas. I haven't heard anything about Coyote moving or being injured. Coyote, real quick. Let's take a look at Coyote. Fiorentina, yeah, here it is. He's still on there. He's 20 years old. One of my favorite right backs in the game. But if he gets the nod too, we should be interested. He's more of a defensively strong player, and he's really good at attacking as well. Regardless, that's the one matchup we need to look for. The first one is, can Leao take advantage, beat that man-to-man press initially, and able to beat his players on the side, that left side. So either with Quarto or Parisi doubling up on him, or maybe one of the midfielders, or Catalidi, who knows, depending how they're playing. The next one is Tammy and Morata. Well, let's go with Tammy first against Camuso. Camuso's a pretty inexperienced player. He's only 19. He's talented, obviously. He wouldn't be playing if he was at 19 started for Fiorentina. Fiorentina's not a bad team. But obviously Tammy has the advantage with the height, experience. So that's another key matchup to look at as well. What happened here? All these ads keep popping up on SofaScore. All right, let's refresh this page. There we go. The second one that I'm looking at is Pulisic with Luca Ranieri. Let's look at Luca. Luca is 25. I know he's got some issues with discipline. He makes some reckless challenges. So let's see if Pulisic could take advantage of that. Maybe get us a PK, some free kicks close to the box today. That's another key matchup for us. Now, on our end, you got Moises Kean, who's been playing pretty well, like I said. So that's going to be matched up with either Gabbia or Pavlich, depending which side of the field that Kean goes to, which way he drifts offensively, right? He's going to try to move towards more Pavlich side, take advantage of Pavlich's reckless challenges and maybe his lack of discipline sometimes, and get some fouls, just like Pulisic would try to get in the right area. That's a key matchup. But will Gabbia switch up a little bit and help him out? Next one, the big one, is Icone. Right? And we've seen it in the last game too against Bayer Leverkusen. There were a couple of times where Bayer Leverkusen was overloading our Royal side, right? Which made it difficult for us because then you have Fofana trying to help out, but if they're overloading that side, they have an advantage on the left side of the pitch. You have a man advantage. So you can do a lot more things and expose that right side. So Icone is dangerous. We've seen him time and time again. He's done some dangerous things against us. He's a physical player, obviously. That's another matchup we need to look at today. For tomorrow's game. was it Coney and Royale? How are we gonna deal with that on that side? Because the front is gonna also keep an eye for Gudmundsson coming on the right, on that left side as well of the field. You got maybe Bova coming a little bit, depending on Fiorentina plays offensively. So that right side has its work cut out for them. The key matchup is Parisi with Deo. I think Deo, they're both, in terms of speed-wise, quickness, I think Deo has the edge. So this will be a key matchup as well, but I think Deo can handle himself here. If he's on point, if he's focused, if he's actually pressuring Parisi on the offensive side of the pitch, tiring him out a little bit, get him to work a little harder. On the defensive side, that might be to Deo's advantage. All right. But obviously, again and again, we need to keep an eye on that right side of the field. What adjustments Fonseca will make to help Royale out. I would assume Felix is going to come back a little bit and try to help him out a little bit because he works decently off the ball. So that's something we need to see how the players adjust to this. Right? We'll see if Fiorentina overloads that side of the field and try to pick on Royale. That seems to be every team's, main focus. So those are your key matchups for tomorrow's game. Hold on there. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Damn, boys. Milan Nation, you are quiet today. What is going on? I see 6 of you in the chat. I see 6 people tuned in, locked in today's show. And nothing. Let's get those likes up as well, all right? Let's get them up. So let me get your thoughts on the game. Come on, let's hear it. Now I'll move on to another portion. This was kind of a last minute addition to the show. Now, if you guys don't know who Rajiv is, Rajiv is he works for Semper Milan. He's got a ton of followers. He's well known within the football game. Milan podcast with Semper Milan. He works with them on their blog, and he's very active online. He's got some good takes, some not so good takes on the game. And more importantly, he came out with a post the other day about CDK. Let me just read it to you word for word. Here's a curveball. Would CDK have fit into Fonseca's 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 with zonal marking, playing behind a mobile striker? I think he would have. Well, first let's pick this apart. Zonal marking is not what Fonseca does. He plays hybrid. He used to play man-to-man, but we're playing a hybrid marking right now, especially pressing. Now, let me listen to a couple of different replies. This was from one Milan fan. He has a lethargic running style, like Ozil-esque. He wouldn't press aggressively. Time would be off. I don't think he would fit. And this was my response. 100%. A team needs to press and hunt the ball like a pack of wolves. Milan already has issues with some players not pressing all the time. And that's facts. CDK would not fit on this team. I don't see him even with his current team, right? He doesn't press hard, and they play a man-to-man, a very aggressive pressing system. CDK off with the ball would be fine on Milan, but we don't need him. Especially because he doesn't press. We already have problems with Leao not pressing sometimes. And just imagine having CDK in the field. I'm not saying he's not a base. I'm not saying CDK is a bad player by any means, but he's not the answer we need. We need something, if we're going to add players to the team in January or whatever, we need players that can defend. More importantly, we don't have problems scoring goals. We have plenty of offensively strong players that can create. Right? Especially if, if we get another really good midfielder next to Fofana, we could push up Tijani to that cam role. And then you got him playing a cam. And he can create and not be so worried about his defensive responsibilities. All right, that's my take on that. Another thing, guys, this is nothing against Rohit. Rohit is not a certified analyst. He doesn't work for any football teams that I know of. I'm not saying I'm an analyst, like a professional, but I've put my tactics, my ideas to the test, right? Well, I coached. I'll tell you, it's not easy. Just because you have one thing in mind, you think one system's going to work or this formation is going to work, whatever. Once you go in the field, things changes. There's different dynamics, all right? This is not football. This is not, FIFA or Football Manager, all right? I don't care if you've got undefeated in Football Manager for 6 years running. Those same formation, those same ideas that you put out in place may not work in real life. So if you're going to follow, start following people online, this is just my feeling. Follow people who have real world experiences. Follow football analysts, certified UEFA analysts, people who have certifications. There's plenty of certs out there from different organizations that focus on football, right? Different aspects of football, right? Oppositional tactical stuff and defensive set piece defending, a bunch of other really cool subjects, topics of football. Follow them. People who work for teams. There's plenty of people on X who have accounts that work for professional teams that put their ideas to the test. They know what it is to put out a tactical formation into place and see if it works. But Rohit and some other people have not. All right. Rohit, you can keep doing what you're doing. You're a fellow Milan fan as well. So, but in this case, in other times, you're way off, my friend. All right. So that's that little rant. And questions from our list. This is your chance, please. I'm going to do you guys a solid here. Let me. What time we're running on? Almost an hour. I'm going to just share the invite in the chat. See if you guys see it. Well, let me do it. Okay. Let's try it this way. Give me guys a second here. Yes, put the restream link in the chat here. So if you guys want to join, Give me your thoughts on the game. There we go. Let's do it this way. That way. That way. There it is. All right, boom. So the link to today's pod is in the chat. All right, if you guys want to join the chat, give me your thoughts on the game against Fiorentina, or your thoughts on the last Champions League game, your feelings on Redbird, feelings on Fofana, whatever, Royale. Your time to rant. Let's do this as well. All right. So we got less distractions. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes. Let's look before we kick things off and end the show. Let's look at Serie A games. All right, so yesterday we had Venezia 2, we won, Verona 1. No, yeah, Venezia 1, Verona 2. Apologies. Napoli took care of business 3-1. We got Como. Today's a couple of good matches. Like I said earlier, Torino's Inter. We're looking for a draw. Interista, your Snakes. I don't want you to win. None of us want you. We're not pulling for you at all. Let's see how Torino does. That's going to be a good matchup, obviously, because Noli, the head coach of Torino, plays a really similar style like Inzaghi. He's kind of a identical cut out of Inzaghi's style of play. Him and Conte's. Should be really a good tactical matchup, but it might come down to individual players at the end of the day, which Inter has that advantage. Let's see if Torino can, change things up and surprise Inzaghi with some new tactics, new layers to his tactics, I should say. Juve's playing Cagliari today, tomorrow. The Inter's playing Torino today. Juve's playing tomorrow. Cagliari tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. my time. Yeah, okay, I'm not getting up for that game. That's insane. Today at 11 my time, Atalanta's playing Genoa. Listen, Atalanta, outside of in Europe competition, they've been playing all right. But man, they've been struggling in Serie A. They have not looked good. And then you have today Udinese Lecce. And what other games we got? Bologna Parma tomorrow. That should be a good game. Bologna put a good showing in their Champions League. They didn't play bad acts against Liverpool. They played decently defensively because they got a good defensive structure. Lazio, Empoli. Lazio won their game the other day in Europe. Let's see if they can continue a winning streak in Serie A. And that's the roundup. Yeah. Oh yeah, Monza, Roma. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock my time. Roma had a tough loss in Europe the other day. They're not looking so hot. And so they got a tough matchup against Monza. Looks like Nesta's job might be on the line already too, I believe, which is sad. I like the teams have to be successful. But at the same time, we've seen it. Just because you've been out, you were a great player, doesn't mean that equates to being a good coach. Right? Sometimes it's just not the right opportunity, the right team for you. But I'm pulling for Monza for that because they're like the second. They're the closest to the Milan team that we have, right, in terms of tradition, and you know the same tradition, but Berlusconi starting that club up, and Maldini being there as well. We should be rooting for Monza. I know I am all the time. And that's the roundup for Serie A this weekend. Oh, it looks like Udinese and Lecce started already. Okay, 3 minutes into the game. All right, and let's take a look at upcoming AC Milan. Take a quick preview real quick and see what we got next on our schedule after today. I think we got the next game. Yeah, we're an international break after this. We got Udinese coming up with the 19th. That's how we come back in international break. We've had issues in international break where players have gotten hurt. We haven't been fit. We've looked lethargic. But let's see if we can come out of the gates hot. We get to Udinese in the 19th, and then we have our third Champions League game against Club Brugge at home. Let's hopefully we can get our first win by then. We've had two really tough matches, and we haven't looked good in any of those games, to be honest. And that's just facts. All right, so there's two upcoming games after our international break. All right, there's no questions, no responses from anybody. I don't know what to tell you, Milanista. You guys are quiet. Because by now people pop in and have a couple things to say. That being said, listen, tomorrow, looking forward to tomorrow's game. In terms of predictions, I don't like making predictions. You just never know what's going to happen. But if I'm going to give you a realistic prediction, that's my other cell phone, by the way. I forgot to silence it. I would say I don't think we're going to blow them out. Palladino, like I said, he's a good coach. He has good tactics. He's got a good defensively strong team. They're good at counter pressing, getting the ball up high of the pitch. So that might be a problem for us. Especially, and then on the offensive side, Coney might be a problem for us as well. And Paris maybe as well. But I think that was not able to hold his own, like I said earlier. I think 2-1 is my prediction. All right. Tough 2-1 victory. In terms of goal scorers, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's just say for the fun of it, Pulisic and Abraham's going to get his first goal. Yeah, it's about these two, Tammy, to get his first goal. So it'd be Tammy and Pulisic with their goals. And for Fiorentina, Nicko is going to score one. Why not? But it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to come down to, close to the 90-minute mark, and we'll find that winning goal somehow. All right. That being said, stay locked in for the this out track. So we always play a song depending on my feelings, the team, going into the weekend. So stay tuned for this track. And Milan Nation, thanks again for tuning in. All right, Forza Milan, always, and let's get those 3 points. All right, take it easy.
What you left us hanging, are we on the top? Nephew Cardinal, straight out the gate, messing with Milan, now you sealed your fate. We've been riding with the club through the thick and the thin, but you walk in the door and it don't feel like a win. You treat it like a business, but it's more than a chat. We got history at heart, you disrespecting the debt, selling off the legend, straightening out the core. Milanista pride, you ain't feeling no more. We ain't some franchise, we the kings of the game. You can wear the suit, but you don't wear the name. So we out in the stands, calling you on your bluff. We die for the badge, but enough is enough. F you, Cardinal, you don't know the streets. Messing with Milan, now you feel the heat. Here, platoon, talking like a legend, but you playing both sides. We saw the glory days, now we see through the lies. You came back to save us, gave us some hope, but now it's all business, and we can't even cope. You sitting with Cardinal, acting like you in charge, but you sold out the spirit, man, you ain't that large. Fans on the streets, we bleeding red and black, but you think you bigger than the crest on your back. We don't need fake kings, we need warriors true. So Zlatan, F you, we done with you too. F you, Cardinal, you don't know the streets. Messing with Milan, now you feel the heat. Ian Platoon, thought you had our back, but you left us hanging, now we on attack. F you, Cardinal, you don't know the streets. Messing with Milan, now you feel the heat. Ian Platoon, thought you had our back, but you left us hanging, now we on attack. They got no respect for the fans in the stands, from San Siro nights to the worldwide lands. We've been loyal since day one through every storm, but now we see the soul of this club getting torn. It's all about dollars, it's all about clout, but we see through the game and we calling you out. You don't know our passion, you don't feel our fight. We live for this club, it's our blood and our life. So we chant in the streets, we yelling out loud. From the curve of Sud, man, we ain't backing down. You can make all your moves, but we know what's true. Milan ain't yours, it belongs to the crew. F you, Cardinal, you don't know the streets. Messing with Milan, now you feel the heat. Ian Platoon, thought you had our back, but you left us hanging, now we on attack. F you to the board, to the whole damn plan. Trying to turn Milan into some plastic brand. You can't buy history, you can't buy soul. We the kings of Europe, and we setting the goal. This ain't no business move, this a dynasty reign, and we coming for heads if you bring us more pain. Don't think we won't fight for the badge that we wear. We the Milanista army, always ready to tear. So keep pushing your paper, keep counting your stats, but when the fans rise up, man, you better watch your backs. We coming with fire, we coming with pride. If you Cardinal, we ain't letting this slide.